On a cool, brisk summer morning, on a dog's furry back, lived a flea named Oscar. Now, fleas are pests that live on a dog's or an animal's head. Oscar didn't like living on someone's head or being called a pest. He wanted to live as a human being, a regular person, and not be called something else. His problem was how. Oscar did not know and was determined to find out. He was going to search until he found what he needed to do to be somebody. The next morning, he set off to find someone who could help him. First, he went to a hypnotist, hoping that they could hypnotize him to act like a person. Oscar jumped unnoticed into the hypnotist's office, where he saw strange objects on the walls. In the middle of the room, he saw a man on a wooden chair next to another man with a giant mustache. He was wearing a cape and a top hat like a magician might wear. Oscar could not stop laughing when he saw the funny dressed man. The man spoke to the person in the chair.
I am the great Miraculon. Now, look at the clock that I am swinging back and forth. Keep looking at it. You're getting very sleepy.
The man fell asleep while sitting up in the chair.
I will say the magic word, and then you will act like a cow. Watermelon.
Oscar jumped up and shouted.
Hello, I'm Oscar the Flea, and I need your help.
Miraculon fell back in surprise, hitting his head against the wall, knocking him out. When he rose up, he saw Oscar perched on his nose. He stood up and tried to swat Oscar.
Whoa, don't crush me. I wanted to see if you could turn me into a person.
Pardon me. You have it all wrong. I only hypnotize people. I don't turn things into objects or humans.
Said the dizzy Miraculon. After Miraculon told this to Oscar, he left just like that. Oscar was disappointed.
I've got to be somebody,
Proclaimed Oscar. Next, he saw a billboard about a doctor. It read, "Come see Dr. Phil T. Rich, plastic surgeon for a new face." A sign lower down on the building said, "On vacation."
He's not there. It's just my luck.
There was nothing else he could do but go back home. As he was about to leave, he noticed that he was looking at the wrong building.
Well, that explains why the big sign says auto insurance.
Then Oscar crossed the street to the office of Phil T. Rich. Getting in wasn't going to be as easy as he thought it would be.
I can't get under the door, so I guess I'll just have to wait.
He waited 15 minutes before someone opened the door. Oscar scurried his tiny feet over to a desk with a plaque that said, "Mrs. Pigglesworth." She was talking on her phone and did not see Oscar coming in.
Maybe I should get closer so she can hear me.
Oscar thought. Mrs. Pigglesworth sang cheerily. Goodbye. Into the phone as she hung up.
Hello, I'm here to see Dr. Phil T. Rich.
Who said that?
Me.
Is someone pulling my leg?
No, I am on your leg.
She looked down and there he was.
Eek! It's a flea!
She screamed. This was scary for Oscar, who was not afraid of anything. He jumped off her ankle to the floor. Oscar then scurried and hopped across the room as she stamped her foot on the floor after him. Everyone in the office was watching her, wondering what she was doing. Oscar popped out from under the desk and shouted,
Help! I'm being chased by a crazy lady.
That got everyone else going. They ran right out the door, pushing and shoving each other. Poor Mrs. Pigglesworth nearly got trampled on. Dr. Phil T. Rich opened his door when he heard the noise, asking,
"What is all the commotion? And where is everyone?"
When he closed his door after going back in his office, Oscar was waiting to meet him.
Hi, I am Oscar the Flea. I'm here to see you because I want to be somebody.
Yes.
The doctor yelled. He grabbed a broom and started swinging.
Whoa! Easy, big guy.
What the? You? A flea can talk?
Said the shocked doctor.
Of course I can talk. I am super intelligent and smart. It is only because I am so small and easy to miss Nobody gives me a chance to be heard.
Dr. Phil T. Rich stood there with his mouth open. He stammered.
A talking flea. Is they trick?
No, I can talk. I am a highly educated flea that wants to be somebody.
I'm talking to a flea. Oh no. I must be losing my mind. Maybe if I just shake my head, it will go away.
So he shook his head until he got dizzy. Oscar spoke up.
I am going to leave if you are not going to help me.
Dr. Phil T. Rich just stood there mumbling to himself. Oscar left. He found a dumpster and rested there for the night. In the morning, Oscar set off to explore. He did not focus on becoming a person. Oscar decided he would enjoy himself for the day by finding breakfast. Everywhere Oscar went, there was a new challenge for him. Oscar was always careful to escape defeat, to avoid angry people or brooms or insect repellent.
Oh no!
He was an insect, but he didn't mind. He was used to it. Still, he wanted to be a person. He wanted to be somebody. In a park, he spotted a picnic basket.
What a lovely sight.
He started to dig in when all of a sudden the basket started to rise.
Help! I'm stuck in here.
He was trapped inside the picnic basket. It was 2 hours before he could get out. Finally, after what seemed like forever, Oscar did set himself free and escaped. He wandered the alleyways at night looking for a place to sleep. He was so tired that he slept in a pothole. He dreamt of becoming somebody, a virtuous person, working at a job that paid him well, with a wife and 2 kids. In Oscar's magical dream, he dreamt of a vacation in Hawaii. The flight was terrible because the flight attendant gave him peanuts instead of pretzels. Someone spilled water on his new suit. The wait for the restroom was long. Behind the seat was a screaming kid, and he got on the wrong flight. Even worse, the pilot announced they had run out of fuel. Oscar suddenly woke up in a pothole underneath the car. Just as he was about to hop out of the pothole, he heard someone say,
Come on, we don't want to miss the game.
Oscar decided to go along because he was famished and thought he might find free food. He jumped onto their car, hiding in the crack of the door to stay out of the wind. The vehicle arrived at the parking lot of a baseball game. He hopped off and went into the stadium. Inside, he heard people cheering. Oscar observed that there was food stands with hot dogs, popcorn, peanuts, soda, and cotton candy. The food was tempting. He had not eaten anything since the day before. Oscar was beyond hungry. As quiet as can be, he leapt toward the food stand without being noticed and nibbled on a cream puff. As Oscar was about to finish eating, a woman at the stand came by and saw him. She was surprised and swatted at him with a spatula, splattering cream puffs all over the counter. She missed Oscar, who was too fast for her.
I'll go watch the game instead of eating anymore.
Oscar said to her, and he did. After he left, the woman went back to her stand, stared at the cream puffs, and shook her head. The manager stood next to her with bits of cream puff on his apron and face, frowning at her.
Oh no!
Bug.
She explained. Oscar spent some time watching the game until they tied the score and everyone waited to see what the teams would do. Oscar thought that maybe he should get a closer look. He jumped from the stands to home plate. Then he saw someone coming his way. He quickly jumped into the bag hanging on the umpire's side. Inside the bag were clean, new baseballs. Oscar clung to one of them when the umpire opened the bag. The umpire grabbed the one with Oscar on it. The sun blinded Oscar's eyes for a bit when he came back into the light. Dazed and confused, Oscar took a quick look around the arena and realized he was in the game, on the baseball at the pitcher's mound. The pitcher threw the ball with Oscar feeling the wind on his little face. The next thing he knew, crack went the ball from a baseball bat. Oscar and the ball were flying high in the air. He clung to the ball.
Woohoo!
It's like a roller coaster ride.
Unfortunately, the ride ended sooner than he thought it would. He landed in a dumpster behind a baseball stadium. He could hear the people in the stadium still cheering. Oscar was disappointed because he was having so much fun, even though it was a frightening experience.
No more adventures for me, I suppose.
He thought. Even though Oscar was tired, he still was relentless in his pursuit to be somebody. He sat on a pile of garbage thinking of what to do next when suddenly, BAM! Something hit the dumpster. It startled poor Oscar.
What in the world is going on out there?
He exclaimed. So he took a quick look outside the dumpster. It's only a garbage truck, he realized. Wait, a garbage truck? The dumpster started rising.
That's not good.
He said, and he dove back into the garbage. The dumpster tilted as soon as it was in the air. Then the garbage fell out along with Oscar. Luckily, Oscar landed safely. Then something bad happened. The walls of the truck started to close together.
Uh-oh, that's not good. There's no way out of here. It's the end for me.
Not exactly.
Said a voice.
What? Wait, who said that?
Oscar asked.
Me. Your conscience.
Wait, I have a conscience?
Yes, you do.
Prove it then. What's 2 times 50?
Let me think about that for a second. Oh, I've got it. No, wait, that's not right.
Could you speed it up here? The walls are closing in.
Alright then, find the nearest thing. Like that piece of metal over there.
Okay, found it. Now what? I don't have much time.
Now, go underneath it.
What? Why?
Just trust me, okay?
Fine. I trust you.
His conscience was right. The metal didn't break, providing a barrier for him.
I must be dreaming.
Oscar sighed.
No, you're not.
Said his conscience. Then Oscar fell asleep exhausted. When he woke up, he was shocked to find out that he was still at the dump.
Are you lost, buddy?
Said a voice.
Is that you, Conscience? Show yourself.
A cockroach appeared from the shadows of some junk.
Pleased to meet you. My name is Doug.
My name is Oscar. I've got to be somebody. It is so nice to meet you. So, Doug, how long have you been here exactly?
Well, I don't know how long exactly. I can't help you with that.
That's okay. I don't even have a clue as to what I was doing or how I got into this mess. I was just trying to find someone to help me become a person, so I could be somebody.
Wait, what did you say?
I was just trying to find someone to help me become a person, so I could be somebody.
That, my friend, is impossible.
Really? I sure hope not. I've had it with being a pest to everyone. I'm going to do something about it.
Hey, what's wrong with being a pest? I've been a pest my entire life.
Are there that many in your family?
I don't know for sure. I have lost track of them all.
Well, now that you said that, do you know where there's an exit out of this place?
Not that I know of.
Then do you have anything to eat?
Yes, I do. Here you go.
Doug shared his food with Oscar. So Oscar and Doug ate a 5-course meal together and slept. The next morning didn't go very well. Oscar found that Doug was gone with Oscar's provisions. Not only that, but he found the remains of Doug a few minutes later.
Poor guy. He never had a chance. A garbage truck probably crushed Doug. Oh well, nothing can be done about it now that he has passed away.
Leaving Doug where he was, Oscar went looking for some more food and for a way out of the dump. In a few minutes, he came to a landfill. Inside the dark, creepy pit was lots of junk and trash items scattered this way and that. There were also a lot of bright objects too, beneath the smell of rotting garbage. Oscar was too busy looking over the piles of junk to notice that a bulldozer was behind him. It was too late to get out of the way. The bulldozer pushed him into the pit with a pile of rubbish. For a few minutes, Oscar was unconscious. By the time he woke up, he was trapped under a pile of garbage, unharmed.
I've got to get out of here.
Panicking, Oscar tried desperately to get out of the pile of mess. Then he remembered something Doug told him before his untimely demise.
Oscar, just be calm. You will be alright. Breathe in. Breathe out.
As he breathed in and out, he remembered how desperately he wanted to be somebody. Oscar kept doing the same thing over and over again before finally calming himself down. Now he could search for an exit.
I will dig my way out.
Except that his plan did not work the way he thought as more trash fell in on him.
Oh well, that was no help whatsoever.
He thought pensively. Out of the corner of his eye, Oscar found a silver lining, an escape route. Some loose trash was hanging from the top.
If I can jump high enough, maybe I can get out of here.
Oscar made a few more tries. He got out on the 5th try.
Well, now I'm lost in the middle of this junk city.
He said to himself. Wandering around helplessly, Oscar thought about the possibility of finding food and water. He did not have any money or pockets to put it in. He quickly snapped out of his thoughts as a garbage truck came by. His sixth sense told him to hitch a ride for free. The truck slowed down to a halt and dropped garbage in an open spot. That left Oscar time to get on, and the even greater possibility of having a new adventure. He felt tired when the garbage truck stopped at a dumpster. Feeling too weak to move, Oscar fell into a crack in the road in a back alley. His hopes of becoming somebody led him to fall asleep with big dreams at night. Before dawn, Oscar scavenged around for some breakfast. Then he spotted a small cake shop. The cake shop looked very fancy. Oscar felt a little shy about venturing inside. He wanted to go in, yet another part of him didn't really feel thrilled about it. Curiosity and hunger at the same time drove him into the shop. Oscar carefully and quietly crawled into the kitchen. No one was around, he observed. He quietly approached the cake and started to eat a little bit. As he was eating, a woman came and took the cake to the front. Then Oscar popped out and said,
Hello there.
Slipping in her surprise, she fell head first into the cake. Oscar left the cake shop without saying anything more. Oscar still wanted to be somebody. For dinner, he wasn't sure what to eat. He was getting hungrier by the minute. Oscar decided just to make the best out of his very long trip in spite of all of his challenges. Oscar started to become confused. He did not know what to do next. Never was he so exhausted in his entire lifetime. He didn't stop walking because he would not give up. He had an indomitable spirit of wishing to become somebody.
I only wish I had some delicious good food right now.
He thought. Oscar thought carefully for some time about how he was still eating food thrown out as waste.
Maybe I did this all for nothing.
Oscar said, discouraged.
There is no point wasting days that have only bad luck in them.
He was about to go back to his home when he mustered up the energy inside of him and decided to try to do one more thing. This time he would do it right and not make a mistake. Without any further disturbances, Oscar went off searching for something that he never had before, seafood.
I wonder what it tastes like,
he thought.
I am going to find out.
Locating a seafood place was easier said than done. Oscar looked around for one and could not find any. But without any luck finding seafood, Oscar was fortunate enough to find pizza places. There were so many around and he couldn't decide which one to choose from. He made up his mind and chose to go into a place called Guido Longarini's. The door was open, which was great for him. He hopped over to the counter, and while no one was watching, he snuck onto a pizza.
Time for lunch.
And with that, he nibbled on a piece of delicious pizza. Suddenly, the box was folded up with Oscar in it. Before poor Oscar could get out, the lid closed, trapping him inside. When he tried to open the lid, he fell back, stumbling into the pizza. Then the moving stopped. That gave Oscar time to open the lid, but he was not strong enough to open it. Then the moving started again, which surprised him. He did not know that he was in a car with a person inside starting to drive away. After 30 minutes, when he got to someone's house, he still could not open the lid. In the house, Oscar finally got the lid open. Oscar was beyond exhausted and tired. He was about to hop out when a girl came towards him. Oscar ran back into the box, landing on a piece of pizza. The girl saw that the lid was open and asked who opened it. When she looked inside the box, she was surprised to find that not one piece of pizza had been taken. She did see Oscar lying on the pizza. She thought he was a mushroom.
Oh well, there's no use in letting this go to waste,
she said. With that, she picked up the piece of pizza with Oscar on it and opened her mouth. Just before she ate the pizza, Oscar jumped up and shouted,
Hey, don't eat me. I don't taste very good.
The girl screamed and dropped the piece of pizza with Oscar on it. Then she got up and ran out of the room.
Whew, that was close.
It was not over. The girl came back with some poisonous bug repellent. She was about to spray Oscar when he quickly moved out of the way. Before she hit him, Oscar ran away and out under the door. Oscar could not believe this. He just wanted to be somebody and not someone's pest. Oscar remembered all of the adventures that he had previously, and he thought if he could only become a human being like the rest of the universe, he would be set for life. Oscar wanted to become somebody so much that he started to close his eyes. He imagined a world where he was finally a human being. He fell into a deep slumber on top of a friendly dog. When he woke up, he said out loud,
What should I do now? Should I go home or should I stay here and have more adventures? I mean, I can't be human, yet maybe I should just stay here and be happy with who I am?
Oscar suddenly had an epiphany. He had so much fun being a flea that maybe, just maybe, the best thing in life was to be himself. Oscar the flea grew happy. He and a friendly dog traveled together for many years. He had many more adventures, going to different places on ships, across deep oceans, and visiting all the countries in the world. Oscar realized that if human beings were easily able to bully fleas around, it was probably a better idea to just be himself instead of trying to become something he was not. Oscar loved his many adventures and lived to a very old age.